The ACTA Tech Day 2024 was all about artificial intelligence. The fintech company FIS Global presented live use cases of AI in Treasury with its Treasury management system.
My name is Kevin Melliger and I work for FIS Global, a leading Treasury management system provider.
Here's the first question. In your opinion, how the demands have changed in the recent years for Treasury professionals due to the use of AI?
That's a lovely question. It definitely, most certainly has changed. And one thing is certain, right? It will rapidly continue to change over the next few months and years. That's for sure, especially in context of AI. Personally, I believe, back in the days, the good old Treasury used to be a lot of numbers juggling, and it's definitely less of that. It's more strategic, it's more value-added services rather than manual processes and that stuff. And, one thing that I always find interesting is back in the days, we used to say that human beings are very good analysts. And today, it's actually the opposite, right? You have to be a good strategist, especially in Treasury as well, because the AI piece will take more and more of that analyst part away. Never entirely, and it will move slowly, I'm certain of that, for various reasons, but it will happen eventually, is my personal opinion.
Could you name some specific use cases of AI which is, in your opinion, have the greatest impact?
Also, great question. For me, cash forecasting, that's the golden jewel of Treasury, and this is where it clearly has the biggest impact. The things that we can do today with AI in forecasting and cash management overall is outstanding and really takes away a lot of these manual processes, from a missing bank statement down to executing a payment where you have a double check of is there any fraudulent activity in that payment file, etc. But the forecasting piece, most certainly just the flexibility and adaptability that allows and brings into your forecasting processes is second to none. And we've never seen something from a technological standpoint over the last few years. So definitely exciting times ahead.
Which challenges do you see in the implementation of artificial intelligence in Treasury operations specifically?
Good questions. There are a few points that I think are crucial to keep in mind. First of all, it's the reality that AI is a very powerful technology, but it's not the magic button that you press and everything, is up and running quickly. The database, the underlying data that is being leveraged to provide value out of the technology, that is really where the sauce is, the magic sauce. This is one of the things that we see very often when clients have conversations with us. Hey, FIS, how can you help us to provide value or to streamline our processes, which at the end of the day is the goal of when implementing and using AI technology. So that's definitely an interesting element that we see, that a lot of customers and prospects underestimate the time that is required to really get a good quality data layer. May it come from an ERP, may it come from a data lake or any other third-party applications for that matter. So that's one thing. The other thing really is just a bit of change management as well, right? The human being is excited sometimes, and I can only speak for myself, respectful of that new technology that is here and is definitely to stay over the next few years. So if you want to implement an AI, it's really essential to not forget about the human aspect and to make sure that all stakeholders involved, all colleagues involved understand what is going to happen, how this will impact my role positively. Because the reality is AI will not take away anyone's job. It will rather allow them to take away the long evenings in the office and make sure that they can work more efficiently and effectively. And just maybe as a disclaimer, when I say that, of course, the question is how quickly companies overall will start to adapt the AI technology, right? We see a big hype now. If it continues progressively as it has over the last few months, then happy days. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of a cooling off phase after a few months from now, where we see that, there are a few elements that are probably considered first before approaching an AI project.
And where do you see the risks, especially if you're thinking about the human factor and implementation of AI in companies?
Yeah. So a lot can happen, easy answer. And of course, and also a very easy answer for me to give, it depends. And what it depends on really is the change management readiness of the organization overall, or the team specifically. If you think about a treasury organization today, and most of our customers in the mid-market space consist of a 1.5, 2.5 FTE treasury team. So rather small team. Of course, you might have different stakeholders in the background from accounting, payments, whatever it might be. It's really crucial to communicate what are we achieving with this, how will that provide value to you, and how it will make your life easier. And make sure that they are on board as well. Not just say, this is what we're doing and this is what will happen. Yes, that, as said, needs to happen. However, also on top of that, make sure that they're involved in the process, right? Get them on board, get them excited about this new, amazing technology that's about to improve their lives. And so, yeah, that's really my personal opinion, of course, the key elements to keep in mind.
Talking about your solution, could you explain how your solution specially benefits from AI?
Very good question, and a very exciting question for me to answer, because the solution we're talking about, which we've presented to the colleagues here attending the ACTA Tech Day, is called Integrity SaaS, which is the leading treasury management system for mid-market clients, to simplify the positioning there. And it is the first product within all of our organization that actually got the official OpenAI license that we've plugged in, and it has been rolled out to our existing client base, which is absolutely phenomenal. So what that will essentially do for the client is massive efficiency gains when it comes to any questions that the client has regarding the software. How do I do this? Oh, I forgot where. How do I manage my FX exposure again? How do I settle this transaction? So just ask it and it will provide you a detailed answer, and it will really handhold you to the experience of getting the most out of the application. Further beyond that, we have really made sure that we get the maximum value to our existing clients by having client-specific training videos that we've developed that really allows, if there's a change in the treasury team, or as mentioned, my brain sometimes tends to forget things, actually very often, unfortunately. So whenever that happens, you have a dedicated place to go to say, hey, let me look at that video again, which is customized based on my needs and requirements of my setup, of my configuration of the application. That's another element. And in terms of answering that question functionally, it's really cash forecasting, the holy grail of treasury, if I may say so. So this is really where we've made sure that we can provide huge benefits to having a more accurate and more precise, therefore, respectively, a more professional forecast that the Treasury Department then can, of course, rely on and do their cash management more effectively, or save money while doing so. And that is really something that I'm super excited about, because that forecasting piece is something that clients have been screaming about for years and years and years, and it's finally here since a few months, so that's cool. And then, of course, looking ahead, right, we already have the functionality in place that it will also help you to streamline processes around every workflow in the application. One key area, of course, is also the risk management aspect that will really provide low-hanging fruit, and with AI, where we will have the ability to provide suggestions and suggest how to manage maybe an FX and interest rate risk, or whatever it might be.
Finally, what is your vision for the role of AI in the next 5 to 10 years? Which trends do you see?
So Treasury, back in the days, even today, of course, still, it's really about numbers on a paper. And the Treasury role will continue to evolve into a lot more strategic role than it is today. And it has already, as I said, speedily developed in that direction. And today, when you ask me, like, how will AI do that? And what will be the vision for AI and Treasury? Today, everyone talks about AI. And I personally think that in 5 to 10 years, don't quote me on this, but very soon, I would expect that no one talks about AI anymore. It just slowly but surely gets embedded into our lives. And speaking specifically about Treasury, into the solutions that the treasurers are using, may it be a trading platform, a treasury management system, or even an ERP for that matter. Of course, all in context of appropriate regulations that are, boxes that are ticked here and there, so That, of course, goes without saying. But I really expect that to become less a buzzword that is, used, and more a value that is where Treasury colleagues can profit from in short to mid-term, or mid to long-term, if I look at 5 to 10 years. That's definitely one element of it.
Thank you very much for looking to the future.
Thanks for having me.
See you at the next ACTA Tech Day.